channel. So today I'm going to be talking about things, tips and tricks that really help me to like lose back fat. And I'm going to start out with like the really obvious things. So don't like click off this video once I start saying things that you've heard everyone else say, because some things they're just true. So, I'm going to have to mention those things because they're important. But there are other things that I've done as well. That I'm going to also share with you, and hopefully they're helpful. But yeah, so I would say the first thing is to make sure that you are eating less than you normally are, just to get yourself in a calorie deficit. And there are different ways to do this, right? So you can do this by whatever diet that you want to be on. But I would just say try and find something that you actually like so that you can stick to it. Like, don't just chase whatever fad diet someone else is doing, because chances are you can't stick to it, and whatever progress you made is going to come back, right? So try and find something that you actually enjoy. Like recently, and I'm going to do another video on like my overall weight loss, but recently I've been losing weight eating rice every single day. And as someone from like an Afro-Caribbean background, like this makes me so happy. I think sometimes there's so much information out there that, oh, like to lose weight, you have to eat salads and you have to eat like this, where you don't really have to do that. Like, you can eat the foods that you like to eat and still lose weight, and still be happy at the same time. So, but I'm going to make a different video on what I've been eating. But just try and decrease the amount that you're eating. Different ways that you can do that is by incorporating like intermittent fasting. And, you don't have to do 16 hours, right? Like that for me to start out with was so like burdensome, and it just felt like so restrictive. So I started out with doing like a 10-hour fast, like 10 hours. Like, Mina, you can wait 10 hours to eat, and like that made it less burdensome. And I found that when I told myself that, I actually went longer. But because I only like told myself I have to do 10 hours, I stuck to it. Whereas when I would tell myself I have to do 16 hours or 8 hours, like I would give up like after 8 hours. Like it was just too much, right? So start slow, do things that are reasonable. Now, like I tell myself, as minimum I just want to do 13 hours. Just 13 hours. You can do it, Mina. And then, like, some days I do more, and some days I do significantly more. But doing it that way takes away the pressure, and I think it allows you to still enjoy the foods that you're eating, but it makes you feel more full, right? But if you don't want to intermittent fast, you don't have to intermittent fast. You can still lose weight without it, but just make sure to keep track of what you're eating and make sure you're eating less than what you're normally eating. Another thing that's been helpful for me is like starting my morning either with like lemon water, some apple cider vinegar. These things just kind of help keep you satiated. And there have been studies that show that, people have seen reduction in their waistline, not changing anything else by incorporating some of these things. So, consider including lemon water or apple cider vinegar. And so apple cider vinegar, I don't do as consistently just because the taste is trash, but lemon water, I try to do more consistently. But apple cider vinegar, when you can, definitely do that as well. And there are other supplements that I've been taking. I kind of want to do a whole nother video on supplements, because there's a lot of stuff that you can take that can help with belly fat, as well as just like fat around the midsection in general. But like just something to mention, like maybe a few to mention specifically in this video, I would say consider looking into turmeric, which can help with insulin resistance, which can also help with like belly fat. Omega-3s, supplementing with them have shown to be linked to decrease in holding fat in your belly area. So that's another thing to look into. There's a ton of supplements. Like, so I'm not supplement junkie. Like everything that I take is like not expensive things that you can get like at Walmart or on Amazon. But I take a lot of different things, so I'm gonna talk about that in a different video. But yeah, look into like supplements that can help decrease bloating, but also just help your body work more effectively. And if you know like you have an issue with insulin resistance or anything like that, and I think a lot of us in today's Western society do have some issue with that, to some even like very like small extents, look into stuff like that that can help you. But oh, I think this is a great time to mention that I am not your doctor. You should contact your doctor and do what they tell you to do. This is just my advice on things I've done that have worked for me. But anyway, so basically, like that's the diet portion out of the way. And then just to add to that, like making sure you drink a lot of water throughout the day, like that helps like flush your body, and make sure that you're not retaining water because your body is dehydrated. But it also helps because it just helps keep you full, helps you eat less, and it's just good for you overall. But yeah, so that's the diet out of the way. In terms of the exercise, there are specific exercises you can do that can help build up muscles in certain places in your body to give you the illusion of a smaller waist. And so that's back exercises. I'm going to try and include some clips about like different exercises you can do. Like I would say for sure incorporate cardio. So this could be walking on the treadmill. This could be doing the elliptical. This could be rowing. So I don't really like doing rowing, but when I want to really target my back, like I try and incorporate some rowing in my cardio just because I find that like it's super helpful, like, or at least in my mind. And I feel like I've seen results with that. And then also there are different exercises that you can do in the gym to kind of help build up your back, not in like a huge way, but in a slight way that will help give you the illusion of a smaller waist. And also just as you build muscle, you burn more calories, which is always nice. But yeah, so I would say that is the diet and the exercise portion kind of out of the way. And then I would say other things that I have done. And so, you know, I know this is like we people have differing opinions on this, and I don't really believe waist trainers. Like, I'm a hit and miss with the waist trainers. I think they do make a difference, but they're not going to make a difference if you're not taking care of everything else. Like, if you're not changing your diet, if you're not exercising, do not go out and get a waist trainer because it's not going to make like a significant impact. If you're already taking care of your diet, you're already taking care of your exercise, I think waist trainers can't hurt. But I mean, personally right now, like I wear it when I want to. Like I'm nowadays in my health journey, I'm trying not to be so like restrictive because I get so like extreme and then I can't continue anything, right? So I'm trying to like find a happy medium. But I would say since I have been using waist trainers like over a period of time, I have noticed that my waist shape has changed. So this is to say that like, when like even at the same weight, I've noticed that like I have more of a curve in my back. So I have seen the benefits of the waist trainer consistently, even when I'm not using it, more in terms of how my back looks than like necessarily like maybe my stomach or my tummy, right? And like this one, like I could act like if I brought my mom here, she would tell you that when I grew up, I had a very like I had a square waistline. So she was always like, now she tells me like, oh Mina, I was so worried, your waistline was like a square. Meanwhile, she didn't tell me this when I was growing up, which thank you for not saying that. But she's like, oh yeah, your waistline is good, and she attributes it to like, oh, now my genetics are finally kicking in. I attribute it to the waist trainer because I think it does kind of train, especially your back. I feel like it helps give it a nice shape that like lasts even when you're not using it. I think this is what I think, So, but yeah, I do think it's not really going to make a difference if all the other things aren't in play. And so it's definitely possible. Like the before and afters I'm showing in this video are like within like 2 weeks of each other. So it's definitely possible to make a huge difference in your waistline in 2 weeks. But you do have to be diligent on certain things. Like you have to be diligent on your diet. Like even if you don't want to track calories, which is what I'm currently doing right now. But I have a certain way that I do it that takes away the stress from it. But I will talk about that in another video because this is getting long. But if you don't want to track calories, another thing that you can do is just make a meal plan, or like, kind of focus on building your meals around certain foods or do portion control, whatever you want to do that. But just make sure that like you're also doing exercises to target your back, and you're also making sure to like just stay active. Like doing cardio just does really just help you overall. And if you're wearing something like a waist trainer or whatever, it does help kind of mold you. But none of those things work if you don't have a good diet, if you're not in somewhat of a deficit. And so the waist trainer that I've been wearing okay, so this is the waist trainer that I've been wearing. I absolutely love it. It's like African print. But yeah, so yeah, that's the one that I've been wearing currently. But yeah, and you don't have to wear it for long periods of time. Like honestly, like if you start out and wearing it for an hour, you're wearing it for 2 hours, like that's fine. I think, what I've noticed has been an issue for me in the past is like always trying to take things to the extreme. You can see results without being super extreme, So yeah, that's my 2 cents. Love you guys. Bye.